Welcome to another exciting topic with me. That is fans. I hope that every one of you who are joining us today have your coffee with you because coffee keeps us awake, and some of us just love coffee, right? Thank you for joining me today. And today's topic that we are going to cover that is all about nurturing mental well-being. A Kopi with Vans podcast. Yes, we are live at Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook as well. And it's actually a recorded version today, and it will be in our social media platforms. So you can actually revisit or send this link to any of your friends or families who you think they may need it. Right. Today I'm flying solo, which means I don't have a co-pilot. Usually I fly with a co-pilot, but today this topic is very one of my very interesting topic that over a past decade that I always I ponder about it until recently where I graduated from positive psychology, and I think that actually went in even more deeper into experiencing different topics and different interventions. So there's a couple of things that we can do. In fact, there are many things that we can do. It's just like a tsunami, right? I mean, we have to prepare ourselves before the big waves come and hit us. And it can happen to any one of us. That's including me as well, right? But nowadays, due to our economy, due to our circumstances and situation, right? The world is moving as well as we are. We have to agree to that. But if you look at one point, we are easily able to get stress, anxiety, and depressions, and so on and so forth. So today's topic, I have about 10 tips that I want to share with you today. Hopefully, it will be helpful to many who are listening to this. And yes, we are live in Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So all social media, we are live right now, right? So yes, so grab your favorite cup of coffee if you have settled in, relax, in your sofa or your bed, and let's embark on this journey of self-care and mental wellness together. Right. So if you have any particular questions or if you have any particular comment, you can actually type it out, and then I probably will able to, answer it. And if you do not want to be, visual to a lot of people, you can also send us a message in Facebook, and yeah, your names will be protected, not be flashed as well, right? So yes, so let's the first part that I want to talk about is understanding mental health. Prior to pandemics, right, the COVID-19, we have many viruses that we have seen before, went through lots of hurdles, lots of loss of lives, and I got to say that it, we actually became stronger. We got to agree to that. And in my almost 3 years of my podcast, because Kopi with Van started just in the smack of pandemic, where COVID-19 was just kicking in, and a lot of changes happening, and we are not sure what's happening. Lots of life are gone, and a lot of people are seriously ill. So, and of course, having said that, we also had a lot of time for ourselves. So that is where Kopi event started up, because I was having a coffee, and then my better half, which is my wife, he said, "Hey, you should do something." Yes, I love to talk, and in schools, my teachers are always like, "You are talking too much." The dusters will fly, the chalks will fly, but nowadays it doesn't fly at all. But this I'm talking about at least about 2.5 decades ago. Those are fun times. So yes, so during that time, I think mental health has become the most talked about, and also another word that probably we all have heard about it almost every other day or every day. Mental resilience, resilience. We open up the papers, they're talking about mental resilience. We go into the social media, it's all about mental resilience. So mental health, I think, became one of the top priority within us, right? It's just that sometimes we don't pay attention, and a lot of us fall under burnout easily nowadays because we are always rushing towards the deadlines and the targets. All right. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, we need to bring back the bread and butter. But are we working too much? Or are we pushing ourselves? Are we really smelling the coffee beans, or are we really visualizing, or rather, touch and feel the flowers or roses? Or are we slowing down? These are the few questions that we may need to ask ourselves. And if we have the answers, no, most of the answers, if you don't have an answer, then probably we need to slow down a bit, right? You need to turn inwards. We are always turning outwards, and we are doing a lot of stuff, right? We are doing extremely a lot of stuff we are doing outwards. And because of that, I think probably we are falling into a lot of serious health issues. Blood pressure is going up, we are not eating well, weight is going up, and at the same time we are getting stressed, and that will lead to anxiety will lead to depression. There's so much. And in mental health there are so many things that is unexplored, right? A new kind of addiction that comes in, so many things that's happening. So today, let's talk about the 10 tips that I think will benefit. And if you are willing to participate, or if you have any comment, you can actually type it out, and I probably will try to answer, or we can have a discussion as well. Or if you think that you do not want to be named, and you don't want to be identified, then you can always send me a message through Kopi Events, and then we can take the answer today. So let's go into the understanding of mental health. All right, defining mental health and debunking the common misconceptions. All right, the importance of prioritizing mental well-being in our daily life. So it actually doesn't just happen within a day. Just few days back, I spoke to someone, and dark circles, low in energy, low in confidence, don't have the zest in the life, in his life. And so something that we need to look upon, what exactly is happening. Probably is it because we are too hard on ourselves, right? So that is where we are going to go into recognizing the connection between mental health and overall quality of life, right? And also practicing self-care. I myself, I'm a big fan of self-care. So nowadays I really spend a good 30% to almost 40% of my time into self-care, which means that I disconnect with the world. I turn inwards, and I got my safe space where I go to a particular place. That safe place can be anywhere that you feel comfortable, you feel secure, and you feel that you are energizing yourself, right? It can be just going out for lunch on your own self, or spending time, not necessarily buying expensive stuffs, or but some buying something for yourself that will appreciate yourself, your own self, right? At the end of the day, who is judging us, who we feel appreciated, and who we should be thankful is ourselves, right? Because we live in this body, the human body, with bones, muscle, nerves, heart, liver, kidneys, and so many things to talk about. So we have to be turning inwards. And the moment when we turn inwards, there is a beautiful symphony that is happening within you. You tend to smile a little bit more. You feel more relaxed. Even though the world is always going at a fast pace, time to time, right? It's not a bad idea to slow down a bit. Sometimes they say, daydreaming is not good, but no, you should daydream, right? Just to relax yourself, um, and you do things for yourself. I think that is where the self-care is all about: walking in the park, or going and exercising, or climbing the stairs, or walking around our national parks. We have one of the beautiful parks in Singapore, all across our island, right? So you should do that, right? Take things slow for yourself. And oh yes, and we have few messages that's coming in. Thank you so much from LinkedIn, and yeah, and Facebook as well. Yeah, thank you. I will definitely will take these questions later part. We are still in the topic of nurturing mental well-being. A Copy with Ben's podcast, as I mentioned. I'll be flying solo tonight, so if you are accompanying me today, yes, please do so. If you have any questions, We are live at LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify as well. So I'm still in the self care segment where the significance of self care for mental health is very important. Earlier on, I spoke about walking and turning inwards, and one of the things that I do is sometimes I have a very quiet lunch for myself. I will disconnect with people, but sometimes when you have lunch meetings or lunch with clients or lunch with family, then of course yes, that can be avoided, right? But time to time, you need to take time for yourself, so that if you are in the best health, you're on the best fitness level of yours, and I think then only you can look after your loved ones. So the significance of self-care for mental health will we be exploring. It's of course physical exercises and quality of sleep, and we'll also be looking at nutrition and relaxation techniques. Okay, I want to cover something about this sleep. I'm a person who doesn't believe in sleep. I mean, of course, I believe in sleep, probably 6 to 8 hours. But nowadays, I'm trying to go into 9 and 10, and probably my goal is to become, not become, to at least have a 12 hours of sleep. So when you really sleep, your body is actually repairing the muscle tissues, your nerves, your kidneys, your livers, and your heart. Okay, your heart is constantly beating. You don't want that heart to be resting even for a second or even for a couple of seconds, right? But you tend to be more relaxed, and of course you don't feel groggy and dizzy and like a hungry bear or angry bear. But you take things out slowly. So I think sleep is one of the most essential of self-care, with good nutrition as well. And if you combine with physical exercise, I'm sure you're going to see a great impact in your life, a quality of life that we talk about, right? So go on, do some self-care strategies, physical exercise, quality sleep, nutrition, and relaxation techniques that we can talk about, right? Finding activities that bring you the joy and rejuvenate your mind. So anything that you like, right? If you have pets at home, pets are one of the best way to to show your love, and they will show your love to you and your families and friends. So this whole group, or rather your personal loved ones, plays a very important part. So you should time to time go out as much as possible, and that is where my next segment, which is coming, which is nurturing the healthy relationship, right? The impact of social connection, right? So when we talk about social connection, is very important. Time to time, again, we need to meet new people, new friends, and obviously, yes, some will come in, some will drop, but the whole idea is about giving out, genuinely, you look out for your close ones. So the social connections plays a very important part in your mental well-being, building and maintaining healthy relationships as well that provide support and encouragement. You look out for each other, right? So if you have a very good friend and then suddenly the friend went disappeared, um, messaging and can't email, or you can email but no response, or rather non-contactable, then I think then is a time where you need to understand what exactly is happening to this person, right? So that's where the provide support and encouragement is very important, that you have social connection that will also play a very important part in the mental well-being, right? Setting boundaries and fostering open communication for stronger connection as well. So you don't just call your loved ones or your friends only when you need something. A particular person went MIA for 3 months, all right, and then suddenly a message comes in, hey, how are you? Then you say, hey, I'm fine, I'm good. Oh, what happened? Then the agenda becomes, oh, I need something so and so. So not a very healthy relationship, because they only look out for you when things are not going very good for them. So, that kind of friend, you must make a decision, right? It's solely your responsibility if you still want the kind of friends. So, it's good to meet more people, attend a lot of network sessions, get to know more people, open up your gates, allow them in your boundaries, and you can actually sense it. And that's a very important open communication for stronger connections, right? um, Another thing that I want to talk about is the managing of stress. It's you're not going to welcome it, but it will come and look for you, like an uninvited guest. So stress is also a biggest contributor for your whole human performance, or whether if you're in office, politics, or if you're out in a toxic relationship or something that you're not too happy about. So these things just builds up within you, right? It's just like a bottle with filled in with a lot of pressure. It's going to explode. So we need to manage stress, right? Understanding stress and its effects on mental health. So it definitely plays a very important part on our well-being. All right. So again, we are looking at strategies for stress management, mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing exercises, and of course time management techniques. Right, these time management techniques, we should all follow it and believe in it in 100%, because certain things you got to do means you just got to do. All right, you know you got to sleep at 11 p.m. and then you got to wake up at say 7. You got to 8 hours of sleep, then you got to do means you just got to do it, right? There's no two-way about it, and giving excuses and saying that no, it can be done tomorrow. You don't want to do that. So your time management is very important, and the importance of finding balance and avoiding burnout. That's right. So this burnout topic that we have covered many a times at Kopi with Vans, because it is a silent killer, right? You may look normal, you may able to function well, you are at your best, but you are not, right? Something's bothering you, or you didn't have that enough rest, or the number of hours of sleep, or the good nutrition, or even for the matter of deadlines and targets. All right, when we talk about deadlines and targets, it's just a sidetrack. In my previous employment, there was a huge amount of targets. There was huge amount of stress that we all live on, um, and that actually piles up. Right, you need to have an outlet, and exercise was one part of my interventions that I follow very, time to time. When we have the time. So you need to find something that we talked about earlier to have interventions for yourself, so that you can able to function well, and the importance of finding the balance and avoiding the burnout, right? And burnout, you can easily get burnout within a week, some within a month, some even couple of months, but it's all about interventions, right? So we talk about a couple of interventions, and later we will definitely be talking about some other interventions as well. Let's go into the next one, which I will talk about, is about seeking support. um, why seeking up support is very important. The power of reaching out for help when needed. Sometimes asking for help seems like, you know, you're asking for help, so you definitely must be very weak. You're low in confidence, you're low in motivation, you're low in self esteem, and so forth. So help always seems like, like in the helpless stage. That's why you're asking. But no, help is definitely fine. Asking, right, your loved ones, and of course, asking the right people. The power of reaching out for help when needed, it's perfectly fine, right? And of course, there's a lot of other sectors that we can talk about utilizing support networks such as friends, family, and mental health professionals. Right, the professionals will definitely know if you feel something is bothering you over a period of 1 week, 2 weeks, and you just don't feel right. You need to speak it out to someone. Just pour it out. But the person that you're going to share with must be trustful, trusted, and the person that that he or she will be there for you. Then you can talk it out to the person and then see whether you feel better. But most of the cases, if you don't feel, then definitely you need to seek a mental health profession just to have a discussion. All right, and also overcoming of stigma. All right, and embracing the benefits of therapy or counseling, right? And these are very useful, right? So definitely, if you are feeling uncomfortable, or if you're feeling that just not in the right mind, you may want to find answers, but then your answers may not able to solve your issues. Then sometimes, like I mentioned, it's really good to speak to someone you trust, that the person will be there through thick and thin, right? So that you have to identify who is that particular person, and keep it close with you, right? Not only for asking for help, but forever, right? That's a beautiful kind of relationship that we will look for, right? I'm going to go into a little bit of a couple of things that we can do, right? The interventions, like exploring mindfulness and it's a role promoting mental well-being, right? Things that make you happy, all right? Helping other people, or just doing things, volunteering yourself to any organization that needs immediate help. You are just not doing that for yourself sake. Of course you are getting happier and you feel good, but at the same time, as a human being, right, we will become a very helpful human being, all right, to live in this planet Earth. So you will feel that you play a very important role, living in this earth, all right. So we need to do incorporate of mindfulness techniques, nothing to do with any race, religion, or particular group. Just sitting down and breathing in and breathing out, so that is a religion, right? Because when you breathe in and breathe out, that is where your life is, right? Your heart is beating and the oxygen is going to your working muscles. There's a huge change of a gas exchange in your lungs, and it's delivering red blood cells to your muscles, and you feel so relaxed, even if you're angry at the moment, because your lack of oxygen, so you feel like but the moment when you allow yourself to breathe and become more calm, right, you have to be very grateful for yourself. You've got to be very thankful for yourself. So that's where mindfulness teaches us, and it's a role in promoting your mental well-being as well, right? So bringing some into that into your daily life, before getting started. Tomorrow I'm going to start at work. Oh, people rush, and the moment we open our eyes, we rush, for things like as if like it's the end of the day. But we need to understand that, okay, look, I'm going to be a little bit more kind to myself. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to love myself. And you may see changes happening within you, right? You become more calm, you become more relaxed, you don't get agitated. And so breathing plays a very important part, right? So mindful breathing is very important, and that will ground you, right? Ground you and make you calm down and relax, instead of rushing for everything, right? So that will cultivate a very good habit for your present moment and the awareness and acceptance. So I think these few things that I talked about play a very important part. The another one that I want to talk about is setting realistic goals. Sometimes we very hard on ourselves. Oh, we want that big bungalow. Oh, we want that sports car. There's nothing wrong having all those stuffs. But are you over stressing yourself? Or are you pushing yourself to the extreme where your body says, you know what, I'm showing a white flag, and then it gives up, right? Just because you want to set a goal. So instead of a bigger goal, how about breaking them into a smaller goal, right? So that you don't feel stressed. And anxiety is always something that you may know, may you not know. What may happen, what may not happen, or what is happened in the past may happen in the future. So all these are thoughts that coming to your mind, and giving you the kind of a pressure. So when you set your goals, be very grateful, a bit more mindful about your goals, right? The setting of goals must be achievable, and it must be a meaningful goal as well, right? So like I said, breaking the larger goals into smaller but manageable steps, that's very important, right? And then as you conquer each so-called your goals, you have to celebrate it. You give yourself a pat on your shoulder and say, hey, well done, buddy, you done it well, good on ya, push on, so that you feel happy. Right? One of the questions that I always asked about such events, why you're always in a very hype mood. I can dance in the morning, I can dance in the afternoon, I can dance in the evening, I can sing song in the morning, I can sing song in the afternoon, and I definitely can sing song in the evening. So when you do all these remedies, you're always in that blissful stage, right? It can be achievable, But imagine if all these interventions are not there, then you fall into all these negative sides of mental related issues that is born to come. It will come to you just like a magnet where you're pulling into it, and then you just come to you. So be very careful about it when you make your realistic goals, right? Um, the another couple of things that I want to talk about, the power of positive thinking in promoting your mental resilience. Often we look for motivations and something to inspire. So it would be great if you have someone to look for, to guide you, like a guru or like a very good friend, mentor, to mentor you, and it's very important to find a very genuine and honest and truthful mentor, because a mentor is the one who's going to bring you without the hurdles, because he knows what are the hurdles are ahead, and he brings you in that smooth direction. But what happened is, if one day the mentor is not there, if you find the hurdles, you find it very difficult to overcome it, because you have not went through challenges, went through obstacles, the intense moments, because the path was just bed of roses. So, I'm not saying we need thorns in our path, in our path, but sometimes it's good to fail, right? Probably you never heard this, but I'm saying it's okay to fail. um of course, not in their exams and schools, right? That you need to prepare, that you need to study, because these are your so-called your wealth in upcoming years and decades. But what I'm saying is, if you plan something in life, or you've got a relationship that you're working on and didn't happen the way that you wanted to be, and you definitely will feel this anxiety and stress coming in. And if you don't take it out from your system, and that will easily will dive into depressions and so on and so forth, because it's an unsolved issue within your body, within the mind. And imagine that it's going on 24 hours of the day. It prevents you from sleeping, it prevents you to be happy, it prevents from every single thing that we can imagine of, right? Even appetite goes down, you lose weight, you feel like there's nothing to look out for. So we need these interventions, as much as in the peacetime, right? We have to prepare ourselves during the peacetime, so that any challenges that we have not seen before, you will be able to prepare for those things before it hits you. So, like those few couple of things that I talked about, where sleep is very important, quality of sleep, nutrition, physical exercise, and relaxation techniques are very, very important. All right. So let's embrace in positive thinking. If you think that a certain group of your friends are always toxic, or if you're watching something about a toxic program, and if you think that it just pulls you in, then I think you may have the choices. You definitely have the choices to avoid that, or to prevent it, or don't watch it at all. All right. So you must always energize yourself within a very great vibes. You can listen to, there are thousands and thousands, in fact, millions of podcasts. When you're driving, when you're walking, or when you're exercising, that will improve you to make you a better human being, a better person. Or whether if you want to start up a business, whether you feel that, hey, what, feel today I feel confused. There's so many podcasts out there, in terms of motivation, in terms of confidence, in terms of um, overall health as well. So there's so many options that you can actually look for. So let's embrace positive thinking, and let's also engage in meaningful activities, like how about hobbies, right? Exploring in hobbies that will act full of your passion. What do you like? Do you like to do something with flowers? You can go for floral arrangements, or go for the causes to make you feel engaged, or take up a sport that that has to be consistency, not that one week you do and then say, no, I don't want to do it for 2 weeks because the cat was run over by the bicycle. You don't want to have these excuses, because the moment you accept excuses, the excuses will just come in just like a bullet train, towards you, because you attract that negative vibes, you attract the challenges. It's very easy to be a failure. Just don't do anything, just be super negative, and you'll be an absolutely failure. But if you are a very full of confident person, you feel full of motivated, but if you still face some challenges and failures, you will be able to overcome it, because you know that they are not meant to stay, they are meant to pass. But you're also making you a greater person, because in the future, if you face the same challenges and problems, you're like, hey, what's up, man? Next, what's next? You have that sentence in you, because you have done it, right? And you know that life is full of challenges and problems, and that we have to face in order to become successful, in order to be, entrepreneur, or you want to be a businessman. Anything that we want to be, it can be done, but it's always happened within yourself. So let's engage in meaningful activities that will bring fulfillment, and also finding a purpose and meaning in daily life. Doing something on a daily basis that will make you happy. um, you said someone, hey, maybe you saw someone rushing for the lift, or instead of closing it, you open it up, or you offer to, carry some bags for aunties, or something that you want to do on a that you find it's a very meaningful, finding a purpose and a meaning in daily life, right? Pursuing activities that also align with your personal values and interests. Whatever that you feel like, if you feel like, reading a book, or if you think that, you want to go out somewhere and do a window shopping, or shopping itself, or even just having a coffee, in one of the coffee places that you feel good, all right? And take breaks and rest. This takes away from the work, away from the family. Sometimes, like I said, time to time, spouses should say, you know what, today is your break time. Go out and have a couple of hours with your friends or yourself, and come back. So you can go out there and rejuvenate without the responsibility, because responsibility is always, something's always on your shoulders. That you always want to do great, you always want to do the best for your loved one, for your kids. So yes, time to time, you feel that pressure is there, but these are good pressure, right? I mean, you have loved ones and you are taking care, so that's a very blissful stage that you are in. So it's okay to take breaks and rest, all right? But the importance of rest and relaxation for mental rejuvenation, also setting boundaries and incorporating breaks and daily routines. It's okay to unplug, all right? The value of unplugging from technology and engaging in activities that promote restorative rest. You just have to restore, all right, and have a fantastic rest, that you will feel better and greater. These are just like juices, I call it all the juice that you're actually doing for yourself, that you're helping out someone, you are upgrading yourself. Even upgrading yourself, improving yourself, also give you full of happiness. So yeah, so these are my 10 pointers that I shared with. I hope that will, shine some light. If you think that it may be useful for someone to listen, you can get this podcast in Spotify. You can send them to your friends and families and loved ones who may need this. These are at Kopi with Vans podcast. You can just type it out, and then yes, Kopi with Vans will be there. And yes, so I'm coming to the conclusion. As we conclude, right, the episode of Copy Events, I hope to see you all practicing these interventions and practical tools for your mental health journey. Um, yeah, as I, coming to the end, I want to share this with you all. That recently someone said, hey, Vance, for body, you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym to lose weight, carry your weights, and, your muscles get stronger. But how about the mental health? Is there a mental gym? In fact, like I always mention, outdoor is one of the best activities that you can do. Outdoor activity, because it's thermogenic, there's heat, and of course nowadays the sun, so we need to hydrate. We perspire, right? I often say this: perspiration is weakness that leaves your body. So it's okay to perspire. And when you start exercising, you are actually developing a greater mental resilience. So that's for sure. And that has to be done in the intervention that we talked about, right? The tools that we talked about. So remember, taking care of your mental health is an ongoing process, and it's okay to prioritize self care and seek support when needed. Let's create a culture of mental wellness. And like I say in my Kopi events, one cup at a time. All right. Until next time, take care. Keep sipping on the self care and the Kopi as well. Keep sipping the Kopi and enjoy the richness of a healthy mind, right? And thank you once again of joining me in this Kopi Events podcast. If you found this podcast or this discussion, mental health tips is helpful for you, please share these podcasts with others who might just benefit from it. And feel free to reach out to me through our website or social media. This is your Vance on a Wednesday, 9:30 live podcast on the topic of nurturing mental well-being, a Copy with Vans podcast. I'll catch you on my next podcast. Till then, adios, amigos, and take